Hello and welcome to another retro review. So this is Vampirella, issue number 1 by Warren Magazine. And this is the very first appearance of Vampirella. So this issue came out on July 17th, 1969.
Nice.
According to Wikipedia. And we all know how trustworthy Wikipedia is. So yeah, this cover was by Frank Frazetta. He's known for doing a lot of these like sword and sorcery and Conan and barbarians and stuff like that. I'll say this cover is pretty interesting. I know I'm probably gonna get a bunch of pitchforks for saying this, but this is not one of his best works. I know it's like really iconic because it's the very first appearance of Vampirella, but I feel like I've seen better Frank Frazetta stuff. Illustrated tales to bewitch and bedevil you. Look out, she's waiting inside. This first collector's edition for you. So captivating comics about fantastic females. 50 cents. God, if only comics were 50 cents nowadays. So we start off with Vampirella introducing us. I'll go ahead and just read it. Hi there. Welcome to the coolest girl meets girl mag on the market. My name's Vampirella. I'm the newest thing in comic magazines. And if you take me home with you, you can call me Vampy. That's if I don't call you first. I put out the call to all the creepiest, eeriest artists in the country. And you know what country? Transylvania. And it'll be a bloody pity if anyone in the whole wide world doesn't get the word about this way out magazine of fantastic females. My amazing adventures explode here exclusively every issue. And in addition, you get half a dozen other sock-it-to-you shockers for gals and guys whose wise to the best in bewitching comics. What more do you want? Blood? You got it. Come with me. I've noticed that there's a lot of innuendo in this issue. So I'm not going to go through the entire issue because this is actually an anthology series. Vampirella is only in the very first story, and she kind of introduces the rest. So she kind of started off as a host. Think Elvira or the Crypt Keeper or the Shadow. She started off as just basically like a host. Like she would have like, I'm assuming she would have the first story in these issues, and it's only like a couple of pages, and then the rest is like anthologies by other artists and other writers. I think eventually by issue number 8, if I'm remembering from Wikipedia right, she eventually grew out of the whole host phase and actually just had like an actual storyline and stuff like that. But yeah, this is her very first appearance of Vampirella. Publisher James Warren, editor Bill Parenti. I already went over the cover. And so yeah, here you can see the contents. So Vampirella of Draculon. So this is her first appearance. And it's just a little short story. And then we got Dreamboat, Two Silver Bullets, Goddess from the Sea, Last Act October, Spaced Out Girl, and A Room Full of Changes. But I'm only going to be talking about Vampirella of Draculon. And before I start showing the next images, just know that there's going to be, how should I phrase this? Well, we start off with Vampirella taking a bath. So there's going to be nudity, but it's all hidden. So we'll see what YouTube does. They're probably going to like age restrict this. But whatever, it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, you're not really seeing anything. Everything is covered up. But YouTube can be very finicky when it comes to this kind of stuff. Naked yoga is okay, but then show just a little bit of cleavage when it comes to illustrations, and you get, age restricted. I don't know how that makes any sense, but whatever. So yeah, we start off with Vampirella taking a shower on her planet. It's kind of basically just talking about like, this is a young lady taking a shower, but if that's all you think she is, you're quite mistaken. Notice the bat-like birthmark. I was like, where exactly is this? Oh, there it is. And yeah, we see her gargling in the shower, but she's not really gargling. She's drinking. She's drinking her dinner, because here on this planet, the water has the same constitution of blood. So basically, the same ingredients that we see in blood on our planet, on this planet, it's basically water. Or at least like the water shares the same properties. And then yeah, we get Vampirella of Draculon, and we get more titillating images. Giggity. And yes, that pun was intended. So yeah, Draculon, planet of blood. By a strange quirk of nature, the water on Draculon is composed of virtually the same combination of elements that on Earth constitute hemoglobin. Thus, on Draculon, a race has developed that depends solely on blood for sustenance. Evolution has taken strange ways on Draculon. So yeah, for anyone who is new to Vampirella and assumes that she's a vampire, especially based off her name, no, she's actually an alien. But she's an alien from a planet that the race is basically vampires, what we would assume as vampires. She has bat wings, she drinks blood to survive, she can shapeshift into animals and stuff like that, basically vampire powers. I'm kind of hoping we get more of her planet and Draculon before she comes to Earth. I've only read this first issue. I've always kind of like been interested in Vampirella, but I never really dove too deep into her, and that just sounded weird coming out of my mouth. But yeah, I want to see more because this whole I like space fantasy and stuff like that. So I'm kind of interested to see this futuristic looking planet of vampires, basically. Anyways, this planet has been having problems. Draculon is in the middle of a drought, and all the rivers have dried out. So everyone is basically dying because they don't have any blood to drink. Meanwhile, while Vampirella is like trying to look for something to drink, she hears news that a spaceship from another world has crashed on the outskirts, and Vampirella goes to check it out. So she has her bat wings come out, and she's scouting the area, and she sees a spaceship crashed, and there's, I'm assuming, Earthlings. And she decides to transform into a bat so she can get closer to see what's going on. But the humans, they see her and they assume like, hey, it can be dangerous. There's no sense taking any chances, so they start shooting at her. And of course, she gets upset. She's like, I'm going to have to fix this. So she tries to turn herself invisible, but the lack of blood makes her powers kind of disappear really quickly. So instead, she just uses her human form with the bat wings, and she just starts snacking on these guys. And as soon as she bites into one, she realizes that, H2O, water flows in their veins. For a moment, I was just kind of thinking, why did you say H2O? Because H2O does not have the properties of blood. If you just said water flows in their veins, I can understand that because to you, water is blood. But the H2O is not the same property as hemoglobin. So the H2O part was probably like a mistake. Probably could have kept that out. Just say water flows in their veins. I mean, this is nitpicking a comic that came out in 1969, but whatever. So yeah, she realizes, hey, I can feed on these guys. These guys can give me blood. I can not starve to death. So she does feast on them, and then she's like, I got to check inside to see if there's more men inside that I can eat. And she sees a bunch more, and they're all in hibernation. And she's like, oh my god, this is like a smorgasbord of blood. Only she says smorgasbord. And she basically is like, you guys won't have to die in vain because I'm gonna just eat all of you. And that's how that issue ends, or at least that's how that story ends. Of course, like I said, there's more stories in this issue. But yeah, so Vampirella's very first appearance is her taking a shower for a good while, her flying around, coming across a group of Earthlings that have crashed their ship, feasting on them, and then finding more men inside that she can eat. And there you go. That's Vampirella, issue number 1 from Warren Magazine. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. I kind of wish there was more, obviously, but we don't get that until later. Like I said, according to Wikipedia, I believe issue number 8 is when they actually get into actual storylines with her and not just the anthology. So I'm assuming by issue number 8, they completely drop the anthology and just have the whole issue dedicated to her. But I don't know. But yeah, there you go. Issue number 1 of Vampirella, her very first appearance. It's pretty interesting. I didn't mind the whole black and white. I have a very love-hate when it comes to black and white comics. Because, I'm a huge manga fan, so black and white doesn't really bother me. It's just sometimes you get comics that are in black and white, but they're so detailed. Like, there's so much that because it's just black and white, things kind of blend together, and it's kind of hard to make out what's going on. But on here, the art is very simplistic, and the color between using black and using white it's done really good. So like everything stands out to me. I can see the details very, very easily. So yeah, the artist did a really good job here with the shading and all that stuff. It's really good. Plus I kind of like the old style of comics, like the old artwork. I wonder why we never like see comics in this style anymore. Like we have comics that have like obviously like evolved and gotten a lot better, but then we also got a bunch of comics that are just like Cal arts or like Tumblr art, and I'm just like, why is it that we regress to that instead of like if I don't even want to use the word regressing because that seems to be like a knock on classic art, but I guess if we're gonna go backwards, why can't we go backwards to like this kind of art style, like the art style from like the Golden Age and the Bronze Age and the Silver Age of comics? Like I love that art style. Not to knock on like the new stuff, because there's a lot of good artists out there that are really good, but I really love this like old style artwork. It's kind of like with anime. With anime, my favorite art style, like there's that meme where it has like different anime styles throughout the decades, and I believe my favorite is from the 80s. Like I love that look. 90s is pretty good too, but I love 80s anime style. Like I've noticed that there's something about like in the past, like there's more like detail and emotion and stuff, whereas nowadays everything is more like bland and cliche and kind of formulaic, and I don't know, it feels like it kind of loses part of its soul, if that makes any sense. But yeah, this artwork is good. Story was, I mean, it is what it is. This is Vampirella. She's basically like a sex symbol for comics. And yeah, I mean, you get her nude for a few pages, and then you get her flying around for a few pages, and then you get her snacking on dudes for a few pages, and there you go. There's your Vampirella. So tell me what you think. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any recommendations for like a retro review, let me know. Just say, hey, Pirate, I want you to review or check out issue number whatever of this series, or check out the first appearance of so and so, and I'll go see if I can track them down and check them out, because I love doing these retro reviews. It's kind of cool going back into the past and just seeing the stuff that came out back then. Also, if you got any recommendations for modern day comics, let me know. And if you got any recommendations for manga, let me know. All the recommendations that you've previously given me, I'm going through them now. So hopefully, like, you might see me do a video on them soon. But it all depends on my free time and stuff like that. These retros are very easy because I can just pick up one issue and just do something on there, and I don't have to do like a whole arc or whatever. But yeah, there you go. Vampirella, issue number 1. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next time. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.